Assalamu alaikum. Dear friends and colleagues, we promised you in part 6 to speak in this part about root cause investigation and cost of quality. But due to the importance and length of these two topics, we will talk in this part about cost of quality only and dedicate fully the next part for root cause investigation topic. Sorry for the long part and also for not being able to change the name of this series at this stage to reflect the new duration. Well, let us start this part with some frankly speech about how is the perception of other people in the business, at least some of them, for terms like quality, excellence, improvement, perfection, etc. And how they perceive our speech as quality people about such terms and values. Since personally I hear people calling quality guy as the paper guy, or that quality people are living in another planet with imaginary world of idealism, or that they are theoretical people looking at quality as a value from ethical and moral points of views only, or that they are square-minded guys who can speak only about problems and risks without being able to solve them, and who can get paralyzed in some messy situations being stuck with the idea of perfectionism, and that they are sometimes speak more like philosophers or emotionally involved believers than professionals, which make them appear far from business practicality and with different language than the universally used business language that all other people speak and understand, which is money. Well, what do you think? I personally would like to start with a gift for such people who will find the following edited part of the introduction of this series interesting and possibly supporting their perception.
Is to have the emotional part, is to have the quality culture as essential part of our organizational culture, is to have our all people in all areas believes in the quality as a value. And actually I do believe that quality is very natural, and I do believe that it is something that has been inserted in each of us. And even that this may appear somehow ideal and philosophical, but I think that quality is a lot of common sense. Quality is nothing but our ambition and desire for perfectness and excellence in all services and product that we receive or we do. Is our happiness and pleasure when we do something perfectly.
Well, the fact is, and as mentioned in the introduction of this series, emotional subjective quality shall be essential part of organizational culture. And we will learn more about that when we talk about quality system versus quality culture. However, quality professionals are not angels, and they are not living in another planet. Instead, they shall be ideally in the heart of any successful business, especially those applying total quality management, like in quality management system approach. But then the question is, why it appears so, at least for some people in the business? Well, let us first define what we mean by quality professionals. The true quality professionals should have ideally the multiple ability to zoom in when needed so that they can check the small details of a product dimension, condition, and properties in order to verify compliance against specific requirements and acceptance criteria, or what is called quality inspection and quality control. And also in the same time the ability to zoom out and check the whole process activities that produce the product and their inputs, resources, and controls in order to judge their effectiveness to achieve the target output, or what is called quality assurance and process approach, which we will learn later. And even to further zoom out to see all business areas and all needed processes along with their interrelations, interactions, and flow as one system, which is called quality management system. Actually, many people like to represent these different scopes of quality responsibility in the famous three quality circles, where quality control is under quality assurance and that are both under quality management system. However, unfortunately, when it comes to money, the main business language, quality professionals are not the best people to speak about that and to express the quality actions or the quality issues in the main business language, which is money. Yes, since business mainly is any activity for making money, and we are actually ourselves in business to make money. So business is about making profit through producing, selling, or buying products as per this general definition. And since business is about profitability and sustainability, so it is natural that the top management are looking more at those industrial KPIs that can be directly expressed in terms of money. whether gaining money like when we talk about profit and sales, or losing money when we talk about cost. And this is why not being able to present quality issues and actions financially, combined with relative lack of total quality management culture in some companies, will result in such perceptions, and that quality people tend to appear as the guys mostly with either bad news or red flags about rejections, problems, risks, non-conformities, claims, or the guys with continuous seeking for related corrective and preventive actions that can be perceived by some managements as an economic loss, since such improvement actions can involve investments like for upgrading equipments, improving inspection testing tools, training people, etc. So again, failure to quantify these quality actions and issues using the business language can unfortunately result in such perceptions. So it is important that we as quality professionals start learning to speak this business language. Like for example, everyone will celebrate when commercial team rings the bell for the new orders with good pricing and profit, as this is money. And everyone will congratulate production team executing these orders efficiently with good utilization and lower cost, saving money. And then it will be highly appreciated when supply chain and logistics team deliver the material and get it invoiced on time, since only then we got back our invested money. And which will be the case when the procurement people achieve good raw materials and consumable pricing, maximizing profit, which is money. Not to forget also the valuable contribution of maintenance team in improving plant efficiency by minimizing non-operative interruptions through preventive maintenance, which is also saving money. So it's all about money. And in spite of the fact that all of these areas, processes and objectives are essential part of quality management system as per ISO 9001, and that quality people have the main responsibility to maintain, audit and improve such system, however, quality people don't show enough interest regarding presenting in similar way the quality improvements or quality issues. So the still open and valid question is why quality people usually are not the best in expressing the saving of the quality improvement actions, or on the other side, the cause of quality problems in the best language understood by management, which is money. And here I would like to get your opinion through voting in the following two possible answers for this question. And you can also add in the comments to this video in YouTube or LinkedIn your further ideas from your experience about the same topic, appreciating the same time if you can mention if you have worked in quality or currently working in quality field. First answer, simply because cost estimation of rejections and reprocessing due to the non-conformances and other related expenses is an essential part of industrial management control, where management only decide and actually build in the system certain cost estimation mechanism where related input data are captured automatically or manually from different areas, including quality as applicable. And since most of these costs are caused from production lines, so mainly operational areas are feeding the system than quality. Second answer, it is mainly because quality people think that they don't need to do that, since for them quality compliance is an absolute organizational strategy which cannot be compromised under no means, especially for companies with total quality management culture or certified quality management system. So with this conceptual justification, they think that further justification through quantifying the cost of bad or good quality financially is not really essential or needed. Okay, now let's agree that ideally everyone in the organization shall be responsible and accountable for quality, and so we all need to understand what is meant by cost of quality. Well, cost of quality is a method used by organizations to show the financial impact of quality activities and issues, helping to identify the areas with significant opportunity for improvements so that more efforts can be focused on those areas with higher potential payoff. In the 50s of the last century, Dr. Juran wrote that it is important to measure quality in terms best understood by upper management, which is dollars. By the 80s, the cost of quality was categorized into three main categories: failure cost, prevention cost, and appraisal or inspection cost. So, what is failure cost? This is actually the cost of no quality or the cost of non-conformances, which is called sometimes cost of poor quality, and it is classified into internal and external failure costs. Now, internal failure cost is mainly the cost of all activities related to any non-conformances detected prior to shipment to the customer. External failure cost is the cost of all activities related to any non-conformances detected after the shipment to the customer. So as we can see here, that the time of detection, the non-conformance is very important. And as we explained in part 5 about risk detection, that the delay in detection, the non-conformances, is increasing the potential impact and cost. And this is why external failures are much more serious than internal ones. And of course, shouldn't be judged only based on the specific financial impact of what happened, as it can also have serious impact on company reputation and whole business status, apart from other possible serious consequences in our critical sector. Anyway, the following curve of failure cost versus time of when failure was detected represents this concept. And here we shall note that the hidden part of failure cost iceberg is much bigger than the visible part. Since, for example, visible part of internal failure cost is the cost of sorting, scrapping, reprocessing, and reinspection. However, hidden costs are like the cost of root cause investigation, corrective actions, excess inventory cost, lost equipment capacity, extra labor cost, excess capacity needs, extra material handling, and employee turnover, etc. Dr. Juran defines the cost of poor quality or failure cost as the difference between those costs that would disappear if everything was done perfectly in a process the first time and every time versus the actual costs. And to do things perfectly in the process, we need to invest in the prevention cost. Okay, now what is the prevention cost? It is the cost of all activities that are specifically designed to prevent poor quality, non-conformances. Prevention activities are basically associated with, firstly, the design, implementation, and maintenance of the quality management system. Secondly, clear definition of product or service requirements. Thirdly, standardization through establishment of specifications for incoming materials, for processes, for finished products. Fourthly, quality planning, creation of plans for quality, reliability, production, and inspection. Finally, training, development, and implementation of training programs at all levels. Unfortunately, many companies don't realize the importance of investment in prevention cost until they find themselves later enforced, and mainly due to that, to spend much more money on failure cost. Well, now appraisal cost. Appraisal costs are associated with measuring and monitoring activities related to product quality. These activities could include verification, checking of incoming materials, process setup, product compliance against required specifications, quality audits, confirmation that the quality system is functioning correctly, supplier evaluation, assessment and approval of suppliers of products and services, etc. Someone will ask here, why do we need appraisal and inspection activities at all? If we can just invest more in prevention activities and have a good, controlled and consistent process. I rely mainly on that, which is in line with what's stated by Dr. Deming, that inspection does not improve quality nor guarantee quality. Inspection is too late. The quality, good or bad, is already in the product. Well, this is true. Then why we need inspection? Here we have two reasons. First, it is a fact that any process will have some variation, and this inspection on the output of the process is one of the controls to give a feedback about correct functioning of the process in achieving the targeted output. And we will explain this in detail when we explain process approach. And the second reason is that many product specification and standards mandate minimum inspection and testing frequency to be done in order to be able to certify those products according to these standards. Here we have just one point to highlight. When we classify appraisal cost as part of good quality cost, we need to be careful that this is not always the case. What does this mean? Since sometimes when we have uncontrolled variations or fluctuations in our production processes, possibly due to lack of standardization or lack of consistency in process control, we will be enforced to compensate such variation in process by increasing inspection frequency of our products beyond the normal levels or the frequency required by the applicable standards, in order to maintain certain level of quality confidence with such variations. This inverse compensating relationship between quality control appraisal cost versus the process control prevention cost can be represented simply as a two balancing weights on an all two-pane scale, where total weight of both representing quality confidence which shall not be changed. So if we have less weight in the process control, we add more weight in the pan of quality control to maintain total weight unchanged, and vice versa. And of course, this extra inspection due to lack of process control, even if can be named as appraisal cost, it is actually part of hidden failure cost. So conclusion here is that the more investment you do in the prevention activities or in good quality cost, including the normal appraisal cost, the much less failure cost you will have of both visible and hidden parts of failure cost. And since failure costs are usually much higher costs, so the resulting total cost of quality will be reduced drastically. The same concept has been illustrated by Dr. Juran in his famous quality cost curve, assuming that at 100% quality conformance, failure cost is zero. And accordingly, we have the minimum total cost at this point here. However, other people tried to optimize this relatively ideal curve by defining what they call the optimum quality, which is the minimum acceptable quality at the lowest total cost at this point here, which corresponds to the intersection point between the bad quality cost line and the good quality cost line at this point here. Now, what are the advantages of defining and sharing cost of quality, both good and bad, in the organization? Well, firstly, most organizations were not aware of the cost to produce poor quality and its impact on the organizational financial competitiveness, customer retention, and employee motivation. Secondly, because it is measured in dollars, the cost of quality reporting is one of the best tools available to raise the organization awareness and alertness toward quality issues, and where top management can use it as the true measure of quality performance. Thirdly, having such information will allow the organization to determine those areas with high potential savings that can be gained through implementing certain process improvements. Philip Crosby, one of the quality gurus and the author of the famous book Quality is Free, published in 1979, stated in his book that quality does not cost money, rather it's the absence of quality, the nonconformances and failures, that increases total cost, and that to avoid these bad costs, money would have to be spent up on prevention and appraisal. In many organizations, the total cost of quality is often between 10 to 15% of sales. However, sometimes the true total quality related costs can be as high as 15 to 25% of sales or even more. Finally, how is this total cost of quality is distributed among these three cost categories? The below example chart shows the three categories that make up total cost of quality, distributed among the following different proportions. So we have the failure cost, and the quality control appraisal cost, and finally the prevention cost. And the big question now is that which of these costs is the biggest contributor to the total cost and which is the least? Of course, after what we learned so far, every one of us would like to expect that maximum cost is given to the prevention cost and least is given to the failure cost. Well, this is ideal, but unfortunately, it is not still happening in the real world for many organizations, and it is actually just the opposite of that, where maximum cost, almost 80%, is the cost of failures, which is actually the cost of no quality, and least cost, 5%, only is given to the prevention cost. And here, failure and appraisal costs are basically economic loss, while prevention costs shall be seen as an investment. So, as quality professionals, our target shall be always to first define and quantify these costs as much as possible to the top management, and to try to drive the whole system in the right direction by investing more money for quality and process improvement instead of losing money due to bad quality. I leave you now with 3 minutes from an old video of Mr. Phil Crosby talking about his 4 absolutes of quality, where the 4th absolute is that the true measurement of quality is the price of nonconformance.
Now, the system of quality that's used now is appraisal. You inspect and test and fix, and inspect and test and fix until the thing is finally done, and then away it goes. That's very expensive and also destructive. What we want to do is prevention. Get it up straight up front, get clear what we're going to do, and make it all come out right. For instance, if you're talking about an omelet, somebody's going to cook an omelet, or a chocolate mousse or so forth, you can't wait until it's all done and then sit down with the customer and decide if it's right. Is there enough sugar in it? Enough eggs or whatever? Has to be dealt with as it's being made. That's prevention. Third is performance standard. Conventionally, we talk about acceptable quality levels. How good does something have to be? And they're all measured out in very precise numbers, but really what that means is you don't have to do it right. You don't have to do it right the first time. What we want is everybody should do it right the first time. It meaning the requirements that I talked about. So we say we should have a performance standard of defect-free, Z defects, 0 defects, ZD, meaning do it right the first time. So the people know what management wants. Management makes it clear. If management goes around saying that's good enough, don't worry about that, we'll worry about this next week, we'll do that, then what you get is garbage. Then how do you measure quality? Well, this is one of the interesting things about it. Most management courses and colleges teach you can't measure quality. It's just one of those things. If you spend too much money on it, you don't make money. We talk about quality in terms of financial responsibility. How much does it cost you to be bad? What is the rework? What is the service? What is the warranty? What does it take to chase people around and get things right again? We just built a new house, and everything in the house had to come back and get fixed again. Every single thing, somebody had to come back. They did it cheerfully and happily, but service is expensive, and you get no money for it. So we see in manufacturing companies that they spend 25 and 30% of their sales doing things over and again. Service companies, it's 40 to 50% of their cost of operations that they waste. This is actual wasted money. The management doesn't realize that quality is as important as finance or marketing or these other things. They just sort of leave it up to somebody. No, I'm saying the quality manager, and I was one for a long time, really is very powerless on this. So, well, the quality manager can do is sort the good from the bad, complain about it, and so forth. You know, when you're sorting, when you're looking at it, it's all done. It's all over with. The quality manager learns to say over and over again to top management, this is just not right. And then management says, no, just sort it out the best you can. Our level is good. See, our level is good. We have to take a whole great leap forward in this business. This business of an acceptable quality level is passé.